A portion of this video is sponsored by NordVPN. More about them later. Alright, so today's video is just going to be a simple Q&A video. I asked you guys for some questions on Twitter, so just sit back, relax, and chill. How long does it take you to clean your figurines? I have around 40, and it takes me a full day, but I'm afraid to expand my collection, but it keeps expanding regardless. Relatable. So for me, I think I take about a minimum of 2 days for me to dust all of my figures. I'll pick a weekend in a month, and then I'll do one half Saturday and then another half Sunday. Like when I started collecting figures, I usually dusted my figures about once a week, and then as my collection grew, I turned it into a bi-weekly thing, and now it's a monthly thing. So yeah, dusting can honestly take a lot of time just because like I have so many figures, and whenever I'm moving them to a table to dust it, I'm always like really slow and really careful. So what figure companies are overhyped and what companies are getting away with overcharging for figures? Now, personally, I don't really think there's any figure companies that are overhyped. Of course, there are a couple of figure companies that, you know, maybe you could say are getting comfortable with pricing their figures outrageously. Like, let's say Alter, for example, 40,000 yen for Prince Eugen, are you kidding me? And then there's Good Smile, which usually has some pretty good priced figures, but their Cardcaptor Sakura is like 50,000 yen. I hope that's just like a one-time thing, Good Smile, Jesus. But a figure company that I think a lot of people would probably answer for both of your questions here is Eastream, because a lot of people pretty much overhype Eastream, and I feel like a lot of people say Eastream is overhyped. For me, I'm a little bit neutral on them. I think their figures look really nice, and that's kind of the whole point of a figure, is to look nice. But then there's also the price point, and it's really expensive. Like if you take a look at Eastream's figure pricing compared to any other competitor, they are pretty much the ones, on average, that price out way higher than the competition. Now, I'm pretty neutral when it comes to Eastream, like I said before, but that's probably because I haven't bought any Eastream figures yet, because most of the characters they do are of characters that I don't buy figures of. Well, that's not true. I'd probably buy a Megumin figure and a Rimuru figure, but like, you get what I'm saying. But I think the one thing that a lot of people tend to forget when they're complaining about Eastream prices is the fact that Eastream is marketing themselves as a luxury figure brand. That's the key word, luxury. Like if you go on their website, they're marketing themselves as a high quality luxury figure brand. For example, take Apple, right? They're pretty much the luxury brand for the tech world. Well, they have a monitor stand for their XDR displays, and it costs $1,000, right? Another case example is they have a set of wheels for their Mac Pro that costs $700 for a set of wheels, which by the way don't even have locks on them, so your Mac Pro is just going to be gliding on the floor if there's any like vibrations or whatever. And obviously that's ridiculous, but Apple being Apple, you know, they're a luxury shine brand and they want to keep their shine, right? So they're going to price whatever they want. How did you get into figure collecting? All right, story time. So throwback to 2013, the Madoka Rebellion movie just came out, which by the way, finally we got some news on the sequel for that, because holy crap, it's been like years since we have any news on that thing, and finally we got a trailer a couple months back. Who knows when it's coming out, but Jesus Christ, finally. But yeah, so I finished watching that, and then I was on YouTube looking for Madoka videos, and I came across a figure spotlight review of Ultimate Madoka by Good Smile Company from Full Circle. And that was like the first video that kind of spiraled me into like being interested in anime figures, because I was like, holy crap, I didn't know anime figures could be this cool until I saw that video. And then from that channel, I got branched into a couple of other figure channels, and I started watching them pretty much religiously until I started collecting my own stuff in like 2013. A couple channels that I started watching from Full Circle, which by the way does not exist anymore, unfortunately. I can't really show you any of his videos anymore, because he rebranded the channel and deleted or privated most of his older videos, so I can't really show you anything, unfortunately. His figure videos were top-notch, the cinematography was amazing, and he actually created like diorama sets for his figures, which I don't, because like that's a little bit too much work and I'm not really handy at that thing. But yeah, there was Full Circle, Donkey Blonky 28, Baldwin, Rad Kenster, Psycho Fanboy, there was Mikunya, who did used to make videos still. I think she quit about a year ago or so though. Yeah, those were just a couple of figures that I watched, figure channels that I watched a lot. So pretty much like 2014 when I started collecting stuff, and then 2015 I made this channel. I started making my own figure videos. Is pretty much around the time when all the people I watched stopped making videos, which is unfortunate because I was just getting into my groove too. So it is what it is. So from like 2016 all the way up until 2020, I'd like to say, is I didn't watch like a single other like anime figure YouTube channel, because like I didn't go out of my way to watch anybody else or find anybody else, because all the people I liked watching stopped making videos, and I just kind of stayed in my own like bubble, just focused on my own work. That's pretty much it. What do you think of the Trash Taste podcast, and do you ever think of being a guest on there when Japan opens up? I think my whole experience with the Trash Taste podcast can be summed up in this one image. Then again, I don't actually watch a lot of other podcasts. I've never been a podcast guy, but there you go. With me ever being a guest on the show, I don't think so, because number one, I'm a complete nobody, and number two, I don't think I'd make for a very interesting guest on there. Like, if you take a look at any of the other guests they have on there, they're all pretty cool and interesting. For me, it's just gonna be like pretty bland, I think, so yeah, not for me. Which studio camp opening was the better banger? Alright, now you're putting me in between a rock and a hard place. I got no answer for you, because they're both done by the same artist, they both have similar names, they both give off the same vibe. It's pretty hard, you know, Shiny Days or Seize the Day. I can't choose. I'm not seeing any Ori emo figures in your collection, or maybe I just missed it. Are you a fan of that anime? No. I can confidently say that Ori Emo is probably one of the only shows in existence that I dislike. Like, whenever someone mentions like Ori Emo, I just think of Kirino, and like all the time she's just been a complete bitch on the show. Like, I'm no stranger to tsunderes, but like whenever I think of Kirino, I just remember the Sun parts and never the Dere parts. If she had any Dere parts. I think my favorite part of the show is when Kirino gets slapped. Yes, sorry, I just spoiled Orimo a little bit for you, but you know, it's Orimo, I don't care. One series / character that doesn't have merch that needs at least one figure. I would love for the Trail series to have more merch. I mean, it's getting more merch now. I mean, Alisa's getting a figure, Altina's getting like 2, Reen's getting 1. So that's on the way. I'd really love figures for the rest of Class 7, although that'd probably be very expensive for my wallet, but at least for like Laura and Risha, I would love to have figures for. I think one character that definitely needs a figure, though, I'm only bringing this up because it was actually brought to my attention the other day, is Kamijo Toma. The primary protagonist for Index, he does not have a single scale figure. Like, if you go on his MFC page, it's a pretty sorry sight. He's got like nothing. The best thing he's got is like a Figma from Max Factory, which is very sad. So give the man a scale figure, okay? I mean, Accelerator's got a pretty cool one, so you can probably do a cool one for Toma. I mean, yeah, you can't really do much for a character that just wears a white t-shirt and a pair of jeans, but like, think outside the box. Maybe you could have like a figure of dragons coming out of his right arm or something, you know? Man, the guy doesn't even have a pop-up parade now that I think about it. Although if he gets a pop-up parade after this video, I'm gonna lose it. If I wanted to start documenting my figures, taking pics, and making videos, where should I start as far as equipment is concerned? Okay, now this really depends on how serious you are about it. Like, is this gonna be some simple side hobby, or are you gonna be really making this into like a passion project for yourself? First thing to consider, are you going to be talking in your videos? Because if you aren't, then you can completely ignore this step. But if you are, then the most important thing you gotta focus on first is audio, because audio is half the viewing experience, and I'd argue the most important half of the viewing experience, because you can watch a really crispy 4K video, but if the audio is ear grating to your ears, you're probably not gonna watch the video anymore. Whereas you can watch a really shitty quality video, but if the audio is good, then you know, you're more inclined to stay. So get a decent mic. That's the first thing. You know, you can get like a Blue Snowball or a Blue Yeti. The second thing is cameras. Now, cameras, I think, are the one thing that beginners get really fixated on, because they feel like if they don't have the latest and greatest camera gear, they're not going to be able to get a good image, and that's not really true. When it comes to video footage, lighting is the most important thing, right? So I could give you like a $35,000 cinema camera, but if you don't have the fundamentals of lighting and how to shape it, how to use it, how to compose your image, you know, how to frame it up so it looks nice, then your image is just gonna look crap regardless of what camera you use, right? I know a person who bought like a camera that's like $1,200, but he didn't even know what the shutter speed was on a camera. So like, I want to grind it into your brain that gear is not a replacement for skill. Like, for example, I know another person that bought a $600 drawing tablet only to return it a month later because he wasn't getting the drawing results that he wanted. Because newsflash, getting an expensive drawing tablet isn't going to make you the next Sakimi-chan like right away, right? You just got to learn the basics, fundamentals first, so you can build up your skill so that when you get to that expensive gear, you can already use it to its full potential. If you have a DSLR camera already, perfect. If you don't, that's okay. Most people already have decent cameras with them, and that is their smartphones, right? Personally, when I started off my channel, I started off with a Samsung Galaxy S3 as my main camera. This is a S6, but the point still stands. Like, if I go back and look at the footage, it probably wouldn't be that bad if I actually had some decent lighting. I've seen so many good videos on YouTube that have just been solely filmed on a phone, but the person knew the basics of lighting and how to use it to get a good image. So if you have a smartphone, just use that. If you are at the stage for wanting to buy a beginner camera, I'd probably recommend like the Canon M50. That is a great choice. Either get like the Mark 1 or the Mark 2, doesn't matter. Third thing is lighting. Like I said before, lighting is the most important thing when it comes to videos, so you want to get some decent lights. What I would recommend for beginners is going on Amazon and searching up for some umbrella lights. You can get like a 2-pack stand for like $60, and legitimately I filmed a good portion. I'd probably say more than half of my videos were filmed with like lights like these, right? You can also get the softbox ones as well. Those are really good. Another thing is also post-production, right? You'd be surprised how well you can edit your footage and make it look good, as well as pictures in post. What visual novel would you like the most to get an anime adaptation? I'm at the point where I don't really care about visual novel anime adaptations anymore because I've watched so many that were just completely terrible. A few visual novel anime adaptations that are good are like Clannad and Steins Gate off the top of my head, but like a majority of the visual novel anime adaptations are pretty terrible. Take example right now, one of the greatest visual novels of all time, Love Love Alternative, is actually getting an anime adaptation right now and it's airing. I haven't actually started watching it, nor do I plan to watch it, because Love Alternative is the final trilogy in the Love franchise, right? So you have Love Extra being the first game, and then Love Unlimited being the second game, and then Love Alternative being the third game, even though Extra and Unlimited are like tied into one package, but I consider them like separate games at this point. But so when the anime was announced, I was happy as a fan, but I knew it wasn't going to be for me because they kind of skipped out Extra and Unlimited and threw it to the side and just basically adapted Alternative, so you're missing all of the context from the previous two games, and that just really sucks. Love is like one of those visual novels that I knew would never get a decent anime adaptation unless it was going to have like 8 seasons of anime episodes, right? So like, which by the way, I think the current show is actually only slated for 12 episodes. Imagine squeezing Love into 12 episodes. Couldn't be me, man. And people wonder why visual novel fans are never happy. It's because people do stupid shit like this. Like, who decides to adapt a huge ass game into 12 episodes? Beyond me. But yeah, I guess it is mostly for anime original people. I heard the first episode was anime original. I have no idea if they're actually going to be trying to adapt the source material or they're just going to make a new story with the same characters. Who knows? I took a look at the visual cover art though, and my god, it looks terrible, if I'm going to be real here. The characters just look lifeless compared to the visual novel counterparts. Sumika's hair color is not even the right shade of red, and everything just looks pretty damn derpy, right? It looks like it's being done by like a terrible hentai studio or something. If you want to get into Love, I'd recommend getting Love Extra on Steam and then just playing through the whole trilogy that way, because it's a much better experience. What type of music do you enjoy the most? Now, if I'm not listening to anime OSTs or JRPG OSTs, I'm most likely listening to lo-fi, because that's the genre that I can listen to whether I want to be productive or a lazy piece of crap and just chill and relax. So yeah, lo-fi. How hyped are you for the Camp movie next year? Pretty hyped. I haven't been the same since April after season 2 ended, like after I tweeted that last tweet. Like, my life's just never been the same. Any new seasonal anime you plan on watching at the moment? Talk to OP Destiny looking like a banger so far. I've not watched that. Actually, I haven't checked out what's airing this season. I only know about like Love, like I said before. There's Mushoku Tensei, which I will be watching, Komi-san, and that's pretty much it. I've not checked out anything else. Do you know where to buy J-pop CDs? Probably think CD Japan is a good place to buy J-pop CDs. Now, I've used CD Japan in the past to buy K-pop stuff, but I'm assuming since Japan's in the name, you can use CD Japan to buy J-pop CDs. Which Arknights figures are you the most excited for? I can't wait for the Hoshiguma one. That's the one I'm most excited for, Hoshiguma. But that Shining figure is also really, really nice. Now, I was actually pretty excited for the Shining figure as well, but after seeing it painted, my god, what the heck? Who decided to do this? The hair is just... it looks like ramen, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if you check it, look in the illustration, it's white, but like in the figure, it's like really yellow. Maybe they're trying to copy like the golden shine she kind of has, but like, definitely made me not want to pre-order. When is it acceptable to get rid of a figure box? I'm kind of swimming in them. Now, for me, I think the only time it's acceptable to get rid of a figure box is when you're selling the figure that came with the box. Now, that's just me. If you're actually really running out of the space, then I guess get rid of a few. But for me as a collector, I just like keeping all of the figure boxes I have, so yeah, I've pretty much kept every single one, even like the Android ones, so that's just how it is for me. All right, now that's pretty much it for the questions. Now I do have to talk about today's sponsor, NordVPN. So thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring a portion of this video. NordVPN is a virtual private network that secures your internet traffic encrypts it, and routes it through a remote server, essentially protects it from anyone locally trying to snoop on it. Another big benefit to a VPN is that it allows you to access region-locked content, since various content is locked between different regions due to licensing issues and whatnot. So for example, I'm in Canada right now, and if I wanted to watch a video from Aniplex Japan, it wouldn't let me because I don't live in Japan. But you can just go to NordVPN, select the Japan server, and then boom, it's as if you're in Japan and now you can watch the video. So go to the link down below in the description or use code KenKen to get a 2-year plan plus 4 additional months off with a huge discount. It helps out the channel. Once again, thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this portion of the video. Alright, now that's pretty much it for the video, so hope you guys enjoyed. Now if you excuse me, I'm gonna go film the merch haul because all the merch finally arrived. So I should catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that video. Special thanks to my patrons Seswat, Beast, Cat Rice, Ralku, Malhat, Tiso, Hentia, Fritz, Ren, Toxic, and YNR Ghoul. What's up with that name? And of course, thanks to all my other patrons as well.